Oi pessoal, tudo bem? Hey guys, how are you? It's Nakatake. Do you guys enjoy Kendo? In this time, I introduced this book, The Soul of Japan, Bushido. This book was written around 1900 by Inazo Nitobe, who was a Japanese politician, educator, author, agricultural economist, and diplomat. He introduces Japanese values in this book. It's been 100 years since this book was published, so I think that the value of Japanese people has changed since when this book was written. However, I think that we can understand the value of reflected in Kendo today through understanding the value of the samurai who lived in the past. And I strongly feel that this book contains meaningful hints for our lives. This book is famous in Japan and has been published by various publishers. So I will introduce this book in this episode. Let's go! Today's content. First, how Bushido was born. Second, the 7 features that are varied in Bushido. Third, summary. First, I will explain how Bushido was born. Bushido was born out of the feudal system. With the establishment of the feudal system, samurai as a professional also appeared. It is thought that many of the samurai had rough personalities because their job was to fight. However, when they came to have many honors, privileges, and obligations, samurai felt a need for a normative sense in their own behavior. So, samurai who gained high status and power studied the following religions: Buddhism, Shinto, Confucianism. Buddhism taught Bushido, the spirit of calmly accepting fate and quietly following it. Shinto taught Bushido such things as loyalty to the Lord, respect for ancestors, and filial piety to parent. Filial piety parent. Confucianism taught Bushido that thinking and acting should be the same, and true knowledge must be accompanied by practice. Bushido incorporated the good point of this cutting-edge teaching of the time. Now, let me introduce the 7 virtues that are valued in Bushido. Gi, righteousness. Yu, courage. Jin, benevolence. Rei, courtesy. Makoto, sincerity. Meiyo, honor. Chugi, loyalty. Have you heard this word? The first is about Gi. Gi here means righteousness as a person. The samurai considered behaviors against morality to be the most abominable. Next about Yu. The character Yu means courage. Courage is a spirit that is not affected by anything. A brave man's actions are very bold, but his mind is calm and serene. These 2 values are inherited in Kendo. For example, do you know how Tsubaziri situation could lead to a fall? If both the Kendo player do not try to attempt a move from the Tsubasa situation and waste time. They both end up getting a foul. It is because their behavior are considered to be a cowardly act lacking righteousness. Also, in the dying examination, raising your left hand to defend against the opponent's attack will lower your evaluation. It is because this act represents a lack of courage by being swayed by the opponent's attack. The next part is Jin. Jin is the heart that cares about others. The samurai were encouraged to compose poetry in order to express their gentle feeling outwardly and at the same time to cultivate them inwardly. The next one is Rei. Rei literally means to bow in Japanese. However, Rei actually means the expression of kindness and respect towards others. It is said that bowing for formality is incomplete, and that bowing is completed when you do it with a thought for the other person. These values of Jin and Rei have been passed down to the world of Kendo. The saying Kendo begins and ends with Rei shows that the samurai's values has been inherited. The next word is Makoto. Makoto is sincerity towards others. Actions such as lying and cheating were considered equal to cowardice in the samurai's world. These values of Jin, Rei, and Makoto are important to maintain good human relationships even today. The next word is Meiyo. Meiyo literally means honor, but I think the word also contains the meaning of self-improvement, because I believe that people can maintain honor by improving themselves. Samurai were taught from an early age to value the duties and privilege of their profession. Honor, it was said, didn't rise out of circumstance, but in the fulfillment of one's duties. For the sake of honor, the children of the samurai endured poverty and rigorous training, which helps them cultivate the elements necessary for attaining honor, such as tolerance, patience, and generosity. The last one is loyalty. Loyalty means serving others. In the world of samurai, the country was prioritized over the individuals. Therefore, loyalty to the lord of the country had been valued. But the samurai did not blindly obey their lord. The samurai valued their own sincerity and honor, and preached that the ruler was at fault when he was wrong. For hundreds of years, Bushido had taken root in the mind of the samurai and defined their way of life. Even without the feudal system, Bushido remains in the hearts of Japanese people. I believe that these 7 features are also reflected in the All Japan Kendo Federation's The Purpose of Practicing Kendo. Check out the purpose of practicing Kendo as well. Kendo is not just a competition to win or lose, but a sports culture that inherits Japanese historical background and values. Thank you for watching to the end. The cultural background has changed from when this book was written, so I don't think everything is applicable today. But I think there are things we can learn from this book even today. It has been translated into English, so please read it. Thank you.